Welcome back to Wrestling Flash. In this WWE and all things wrestling video we are going to look at theory to break John Cena and Ric Flair's record for most world championships, WWE unifying the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, Bianca Belair calls upon WWE fans to respect her boundaries, Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar, winner leaked, Dominik Mysterio turns heel and joins Judgment Day. First let's look at Bianca Belair calls upon WWE fans to respect her boundaries. WWE superstar Bianca Belair recently requested that fans consider her and her fellow performers' privacy when the cameras are off. Last week, the Raw Women's Champion was followed for more than 30 minutes by a car after a WWE live event late at night. The person following her turned out to be a fan who wanted a picture with her. She later took to Instagram to express her concern over the incident. During a recent interview with Wrestling Inc., the EST of WWE highlighted how she loves passionate responses from her fans. However, she urged her supporters to stay safe and respect certain boundaries when interacting with the superstars. I love my fans. I love all the love and all the support that they give me. But when we are outside of the WWE wrestling space, or at nighttime especially, I know it might seem like it's fun, all in the name of fun, but there's boundary. She added, and I want you guys to be safe, and I want to be safe at the same time too. So sometimes I am traveling alone, sometimes I am with my husband, sometimes I am with my kids, she said. We just have to have boundaries to keep everyone safe. Bianca is one of the biggest stars in wrestling today and recently defeated Carmella to retain her Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank 2022. Last week, the Raw Women's Champion shared details about her scary interaction with a fan after the show finished. Angelo Dawkins, the tag team partner of Bianca Belair's husband Montez Ford, accompanied her during the incident. Speaking to Adrian Hernandez on the Playmakers podcast, Dawkins recapped what went down when a fan followed them after the show. It's just like we were at a red light. You've got to be careful, man. Like you down how traffic? Like people in traffic can be. Don't run up to the car, especially late at night too. We had already been on the road for a couple of minutes, too. It wasn't even like 5 minutes. It was like 25 minutes, 30 minutes. We were already on the road, so it was like, yo, did they follow us all the way out here just to do that? Despite being renowned public figures, Bianca Belair and her fellow performers deserve the same privacy that everyone else is entitled to in their lives. WWE unifying the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair recently gave her thoughts on if she would be open to unifying her title with the SmackDown Women's Champion. WWE has unified 4 major titles in recent months. Roman Reigns now holds both the WWE and Universal Championships, while the Usos recently became the undisputed tag team champions. During a recent interview with Wrestling Inc., the EST of WWE spoke about the possibility of becoming an undisputed champion herself. Listen, I have a lot on my resume right now in a very short amount of time. So, that's another nothing I can add to the resume. I would like to have 2 golds on both shoulders. Gold is my favorite color, so. Bianca Belair is one of the biggest stars in the company at the moment. Putting both titles on her would further solidify her status as one of the top representatives of the company. Despite the 33-year-old's aspirations to hold both titles, she and fellow champion Liv Morgan recently teamed up this past Monday on Raw. Following their match this week, Liv Morgan spoke about how amazing it was to team up with the EST of WWE. Amazing. It's always incredible to be in the ring with, whether it is against her or whether she is on my team. Tonight, she just happened to be on my team. Thank you so much. It's incredible. It's incredible. Established stars like Bayley, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch have been out of the title picture recently. As such, the onus is on Belair and Morgan to maintain the spark in the women's division. Dominik Mysterio turns heel and joins Judgment Day. Former WWE head writer Vince Russo hopes to see Dominik Mysterio turn heel and join Judgment Day at SummerSlam. It hasn't been long since WWE introduced Judgment Day on Raw, and the faction has already experienced multiple changes to its lineup. Last week on Raw, the Sinister Group teased recruiting the young Mysterio into their ranks. While reviewing this week's Monday night show on Sportskeeda's Legion of Raw, host Dr. Chris Featherstone asked Vince Russo if Dominik should change his character and align himself with Judgment Day. The veteran responded affirmatively. I think he has got to, bro. Something has got to give, said Vince Russo. You've got to do something, and I would hope so. Dominik's WWE career hasn't truly taken off despite being signed for almost 2 years. Hence, Russo believes that the young Mysterio adopting a new gimmick as a Judgment Day member would be the ideal move from a creative standpoint. This week, Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest faced off against Rey and Dominik Mysterio. The Mysterios paid homage to Eddie Guerrero by seemingly cheating their way to a disqualification victory. Vince Russo admitted that despite the tribute to the late Hall of Famer, he wasn't a fan of the match's finish. Vince Russo stated that he wasn't a regular viewer during the early 2000 seconds when Eddie became a top face despite utilizing several underhanded tactics during his matches. The former WWE writer didn't enjoy seeing the good guys in Dominik and Rey trying to bail out of their match on Raw. As he briefly explained, "Here's what I didn't like, Chris. Why are the babyfaces taking a win that way? It's almost like they were trying to bail out of the match because they couldn't beat Judgment Day. I mean, that's a way that a heel should take a victory. I just don't think that finish worked with babyfaces, bro," noted Russo. Judgment Day and the Mysterios will likely clash again, and Dominik could potentially betray his father and kickstart a highly anticipated run as a heel. Fans will have to stay tuned to find out what is next in this saga. Roman Reigns vs. Brock Lesnar, winner leaked. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are set to clash again on July 30th at SummerSlam in a last man standing match. Brock Lesnar made his surprise return to WWE on June 17th and took out Roman Reigns after he defeated Riddle in a match. Betting odds place Roman Reigns as the favorite to win the match by a slight margin. The two men have been facing each other since WrestleMania 31. They have competed twice in the past year, with Reigns coming out on top both times. At WrestleMania 38, Reigns defeated Lesnar to become the unified WWE Universal Champion. As per BetOnline, Roman Reigns is the current favorite to win the match at -200, whereas Lesnar is the underdog against him at +150. It looks as though the company has booked themselves in a corner, as having Lesnar get defeated for a third time by Reigns would seriously hit his credibility. The other match that has been announced for the biggest party of the summer is Pat McAfee vs. Happy Corbin. The SmackDown announcer is the current favorite at -200 to win the match, with the former US champion being the underdog at +160. Fans are criticizing WWE for booking another match between the Tribal Chief and Lesnar. The initial plan was for Randy Orton to face Reigns. However, he was sidelined due to an injury and Brock Lesnar replaced Orton. Eric Bischoff stated that he is looking forward to the match despite the fact that the two have faced each other multiple times before, because Brock Lesnar is a brand new character. So yes, we've seen the match before, but we haven't seen this character before. So let's just wait and see. I'm not against it. I think it's awesome, said Bischoff. The former Raw general manager said that he didn't want to see Lesnar return last year. However, his new character has been refreshing. He talked about how Lesnar's current character is different from his old character. He is no longer one-dimensional and has a lot more fun now. Theory to break John Cena and Ric Flair's record for most world championships. Bobby Lashley believes that WWE Raw superstar Theory is going to be a multi-time world champion. The two stars are currently involved in a feud for the United States Championship, which the Almighty won by defeating the latter at Money in the Bank. They are set for a rematch at SummerSlam, which will take place later this month. Theory is recognized as the youngest U.S. champion and Money in the Bank contract holder in the history of the company. While speaking to Ariel Helwani of BT Sport, Bobby Lashley heaped praise on his rival, stating that he could see him going after John Cena and Ric Flair's record for most world championships held. Man, by the time he's my age, he's going to be on a stack of money as high as this building. He's going to be a super duper star. 23 years old, that kid has everything in his future. I can see him being a multiple-time world champion. He's going to be going after Cena's record. He's going to be after Ric Flair's record. He's going to be setting some records that you would never imagine. The kid is extremely talented, said Lashley. The Almighty is one of the biggest stars in the entire industry right now. He's a former two-time WWE champion, three-time United States champion, and ECW champion. During the interview, Bobby Lashley mentioned a few things that he wants to accomplish in WWE. There's a lot. There's holding multiple titles. I haven't won a tag team title yet, so I still see that in my career. I see that in my career. Everybody's like, what if it doesn't happen this year? Then, it's gonna happen next year. I'm so positive. I'm so positive that it'll make most people sick. But the more positivity that comes out of me, the more things like this happen, you know. Lashley's next destination is the biggest party of the summer, where he will put his title on the line against Theory. He recently teamed up with the Street Profits on Raw to defeat the 24-year-old star in Alpha Academy.